My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for the Veterans Memorial and Multicultural Histories Incorporated. And today is Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. And we're at the Gadsen County Public Library here in northern Florida, about 22 miles outside of Tallahassee. And sir, what is your name?
Kevin M. Edwards.
Okay. And Kevin, what branch of service were you in?
I was in the United States Navy.
And were you drafted or enlisted?
Enlisted.
Okay. What year did you go in?
I went in right after high school in June of 1977.
Okay. And why did you choose the Navy?
Well, I liked the Navy because I didn't like physical. And the Army and Marines was more physical. And I wanted adventure. So being from Gadsen County, small rural area as it is it wasn't very much here to do job-wise, and I didn't like college. So it was an opportunity to travel and get away.
Okay. And the Navy wasn't physical?
No, not at all.
Okay. You say so. not anyway. Okay. All right. What rank were you when you separated?
E6.
E6. How many years did you put in the military?
20 day for day.
Okay. So you did retire. Okay. Where were you living before you went to service, and what were you doing at the time?
I was living in Quincy, Florida before I went to the United States Navy. I worked from age 12 all the way up to maybe 16. I started working in what they call tobacco here in Gaston County, and from there I went to a restaurant, a local restaurant named Chandler's.
Okay.
I worked there a couple of years out of high school, and as soon as high school was over with, I joined.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So where was basic training at?
Orlando.
Oh, Orlando.
NTC Orlando.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, it was a 9-week training course.
Okay. All right. What was the career field?
At first, I had two career fields. It was air traffic control. So I wanted to be an air traffic controller, but my scores wasn't quite high enough. So I had to retake the ASVAB and go what they call on-the-job training. So I did that first. So I finally passed enough to go to A school. And the ninth or 10th week of A school, I dropped out. The radar part was very stressful, and I found out that it wasn't for me. So I changed fields and I became an aviation maintenance administrationman, which is the same as like a yeoman, doing logs and records on the aircraft, taking care of all the records.
Okay. Okay. And so, all right. So after that training, how long was that training?
6 weeks.
Okay.
It
So
was really about 20 weeks, but in 6 weeks, I dropped out of that training for air traffic control. Then I went to AZ training, which was another 8 weeks, and it was just on-the-job training. It wasn't regular, you know.
where were your trainings at? One was at the
Millington, Tennessee.
Okay.
Both was at Millington, Tennessee.
Oh, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And all right. So okay. So basic was 12.
Yeah, about 9 weeks.
About 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And this other training was?
It was about 13 weeks for
Okay.
air traffic control, but I didn't go there first.
Right.
When I first left boot camp, I went to Jacksonville, Florida, because I was a non-designated, non-rated airman, which means I didn't have a rate. So that's when I started applying for air traffic control while I was on shore duty there.
Okay.
So when you're non-rated, they won't let you stay on shore duty but a year, and then they send you directly to the ship. So I got I went straight to the ship from NAS Jacksonville to Norfolk, Pier 12 on the carrier USS America. And that's where I applied for air traffic control. and I got to work up in what they call Catsi, which is Carrier Air Traffic Control Center.
Uh-huh.
So I worked in Catsi for like a year before they said, okay, Kevin, you can go to A school. So they sent me to A school from the ship.
Okay.
But I didn't make it through A school. So that's when I designated myself into another field.
Which was?
Aviation Maintenance Administration.
Wow, okay.
So I stayed in aviation.
All right. And what was your job in aviation?
Logs and records yeoman,
Okay.
and also data analyst. I took care of all the records. I made reports for the commanders so they could see what we call trend analysis.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the aircraft hours, how many sorties was flown that day. Oh, it's just a lot of aviation for the planes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Through basic training and tech school, any casualties? Did you get hurt at all?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right. All right. So where was your first duty base?
NES Jacksonville.
Okay. And how long were you there?
About a year and a half.
And so
From
how
there
did-
to the ship.
I'm sorry?
From there to the USS America.
Okay, so USS America. What kind of ship was that?
Aircraft carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Pier 12. And I stayed on that for like 2 years before I went to the A school. So I did what they call a Mediterranean cruise
Oh, really?
on the carrier.
How many personnel were on that ship with you?
Approximately 5,000.
Wow. Okay, and for a year and a half, you were on that ship?
Yes, I had
And in the Mediterranean?
Mm-hmm.
What countries did you travel to?
In that time period.
And what year was that?
That was in '78.
Mm-hmm.
I traveled straight to when we leave the States, we go straight to Italy, Naples.
Right.
So from Naples, we go to Palma, Spain, or Barcelona,
Mm-hmm.
as I recall. And from there, oh God, we went all over the place. Through the Suez Canal, we was the first carrier to have the F-18 flown on for sorties.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
That was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any casualties?
Yes.
Did I get hurt?
Yes, during that time period. We had one guy got ran over by one of the aircrafts.
Wow. Did he survive?
No,
No.
it was fatal.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. I know I asked you already what I'm trying to find out was there any, did you engage in combat ever?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. All right. So you were on that aircraft carrier for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Where was your next duty base or assignment?
Yes, after I left there, matter of fact, I was playing with Ship's Company, the basketball team, and I got hurt. So that got me off the carrier. And I finished A school, as I remember. So this is AZ school, not the air traffic control school, but the AZ school. And that's when I got hurt playing basketball. So I went to Naval Station Norfolk for about, 6 months, because I was on what they call limited duty. So for that little time period, I'm limited duty. Now I'm up for orders. So after my knee is healed up, I got orders to Jacksonville, Florida, Cecil Field.
Okay. And how long were you there?
3 years.
What was your job?
Data analyst.
Okay. All right. Okay. Did you do any TDYs while you were there? Were you, did you?
Like temporary assigned?
Yes. Did you go to
No.
any other bases or?
No.
Okay. All right.
Just Naval Air Station Jacksonville, at the time Naval Air Station Cecil Field.
Okay.
Those two bases are close.
How much of Europe did you get to see while you were in the Mediterranean?
Oh, I'll say about half of it.
What countries?
I seen Mombasa, but this was later in my career. So in Europe, it was mainly France, Italy, and Spain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot
Gotcha.
about France.
All right. How was the food?
Overseas?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, especially Italy.
Really?
Terrible. They had big flies on the bread there. I wouldn't eat it.
Okay.
It wasn't too clean.
All right. For some reason, I didn't like the food in Italy either. The dessert was good, but the regular food, anyway. So it's not about me. So okay, where are we at now in your career? You left.
Yes, I was in
Jacksonville. You're in
Uh-huh.
Jacksonville.
I'm in Jacksonville, Cecilfield, Florida.
Right.
I'm in E4 going up for E5. I made E5 leaving Cecilfield, and now it's 83. And now I'm transferring to California. I'm going to a fighter squadron, VF 211. That was my shore duty in Cecilfield. So I got orders to a fighter squadron, VF 211.
Where?
F-14s in Miramar, NAS Miramar.
Is that
San Diego.
okay? All right, Southern California.
Yep, so now I'm there in 83, 84. I stayed on the West Coast until 94.
Okay,
84 to 94.
got it. Any casualties?
No,
Nobody got hurt?
no.
Okay. Throughout your military career, did you have any problems staying in touch with your family?
None.
Okay. So after San Diego, where'd you go?
San Diego, I went to a place called, I want to say Port Hueneme, but it was called something else at the time.
Where?
But it was North California, past Los Angeles.
Okay.
Point Magoo, that's it.
Okay.
I was in Point Magoo for the next 3 years in another fighter squadron.
So it was north of LA but south of San Francisco?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not too far. Yeah, exactly.
All right. And what was that tour all about?
That was another data analyst job. Now I'm E6.
And you said something about F-14s?
Yes, yes. And this was a reserve unit that flew F-14s.
Oh.
VFA 305, the Lobos, they call themselves. It was 3 years, and what happened, they got decommissioned in 94. They got decommissioned, and just so happened I was up for orders again because everybody, since the squadron got decommissioned, we all got new orders. So now I'm looking at 15 years in,
Right.
E6. So I'm like, okay, I'll take Jacksonville. So I'm going back home.
You went back, okay.
I went back to Jacksonville. It just so happened it was open.
Okay.
So I took you could go anywhere you wanted at that time.
Okay.
So I went back to Jacksonville and finished out my career.
So, okay. And what was that job? Data analyst again?
Data analyst again.
Okay. While you were in the service, any place that you haven't mentioned, where else did you travel while you were in the military?
Oh, yes, we did in San Diego. I was attached to VF 211, as I was telling you. We was attached to a carrier called the Kitty Hawk, USS Kitty Hawk, and we did a world cruise.
Oh.
So we got a chance to go to the Philippines, Singapore, Mombasa
In Africa.
in Africa.
What part of Africa?
Mombasa, at the south, the bottom.
Okay.
The very bottom tip of the east coast of Africa.
Gotcha.
Seoul, and I think that's about it.
How was the
But they
food?
call, oh yeah, we went to the Indian Ocean. I forgot about
Oh,
that.
okay.
So they made us do what we call walk day, where when you go across the equator, it's an initiation. One of those. If you've never been across the equator, then
No.
you get initiated.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Right.
But it was the IO, we call it the IO, the Indian Ocean. So we went through like 3 different oceans on that cruise.
Right. Right. 2 of the most memorable experiences that you had in your military career.
Oh, I would have to say not passing A school. Was
Okay.
one of them, to be an air traffic controller. That was one of my dreams. And the other memorable one, I would have to say getting capped to E6. That was a great day for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Okay. All right. So you never engaged in combat,
No.
right? Medals, citations.
I just got a Navy Achievement Medal once. I got a letter of commendation from an admiral and 4 good conducts. So I graduated with gold. I got all gold.
Nice. Nice. I didn't ask you this, but I'll go ahead and ask you. How are your instructors through all your training? Early on.
They were good.
They were good?
I had no problems with instructors.
Okay.
Except when I got to A school with their traffic control unit. That was a different environment.
Meaning?
Meaning I thought they was a little bit, like if I'd have had an instructor that was a little slower and patient, I might have done better.
Right.
They was very fast, and it's almost like you could tell the difference in southern guys against northern guys. They thought they was a little bit faster.
Right.
And this is doing with color.
I was going to ask you, did you have any negative experiences through your military career regarding racism?
Oh yeah, all the
discrimination,
time.
Really?
Yeah, but believe it or not, I didn't really have that many problems with it. And I'm not saying nothing bad about being fair-skinned.
Yeah.
But darker-skinned guys in the Navy, they always was discriminated against.
Really?
Wow. Just because they wasn't understood, and the people who think they could they come to me, and I would agree with them because I guess I'm more fair-skinned or something. But I experienced that a lot, and that wasn't true.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was like that a lot.
Okay, but you got through it.
Yes, I got the breaks when some of them didn't get the breaks, and they was much more smarter, and I couldn't understand why. Why would they do them like that?
Right.
It was prejudice.
So it was a color issue. Okay. What did you do after the service? Where were you when you separated?
I was in NES Jacksonville.
You were in Jacksonville. So what were your thoughts about your future? What did you do?
Well, we went to a thing what we call transition assistance program.
Okay.
Where they transition you and give you resumes and show you the jobs and get you ready for the outside.
Right.
So I went to Prudential Life Insurance.
Oh.
Because I'm already doing clerical work.
Right.
So that fitted me perfect. So I stayed there for about 2 years.
In Jacksonville? Oh, all right.
With my 2 kids, just me and them. And
right.
At the time, Aetna, U.S. Aetna bought Prudential Life out. They bought them out. So anybody that worked for Prudential, which I was working for Prudential,
right,
they offered us severance pay because they didn't have positions for all of us to come over to Aetna.
Oh.
So they bought Prudential out and gave me my severance pay and bought my stock. So I moved to Fort Lauderdale. That's where my original family is from.
From Fort Lauderdale? Okay.
So I moved there next.
Gotcha. Okay. You feel like you had all the supplies that you needed throughout your military career?
For the most part, yes.
For the most part? Just a couple of little sketchy areas?
Yeah, little sketchy areas with health.
Okay. Did you maintain any friendships after the service?
Yes, I have about 3 or 4 real close partners that I still contact.
Still? Nice, nice. What did you think of officers or fellow enlisted?
They got along pretty well. I don't have any problems with officers
Okay.
or enlisted. Either
Right.
one of them, I thought they was all right.
Okay.
It was just certain people,
Did you use your GI Bill for anything?
When I first went in, they gave us what we call the 2-for-1, where they put $2 a year every $1.
Right, for school? And?
I did use that when I first got in at NES Jacksonville. I was going to FCC over there at a Florida community college to get an AA degree.
Right.
So I was working on my AA degree there.
Okay. Did you finish school?
No, I did not.
No, okay. All right.
I got my certifications and left.
Gotcha. Let me see. Go back for a minute. And Okay, so did you use the GI Bill to buy a home?
No,
Okay, all right.
no.
All right. So,
Eventually I did, but not right away.
gotcha.
So now I've used the VA right now for
Oh.
home loans. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Uh-huh.
All right, yeah, so you have eventually.
Yes.
That's
yes,
fine,
I bet.
yeah. Doesn't matter what time
Right.
frame, as long as you did.
Mm-hmm.
What am I gonna ask you? Okay. Oh, do you belong to any military organizations?
No,
Veterans?
not at the moment. I was asked to join the American Legion here in Quincy,
Right.
217, because my parents was members of that same American Legion.
Right.
And there's a guy over in Tallahassee that has American Legion over there as well. I thought about that, but that's about it.
Where?
In Tallahassee,
Gotcha.
Florida.
Gotcha. Do me a favor. You traveled extensively overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and so I need to just ask you, just sort of like go down a short list. What was it like interacting with people who lived on the economy, you know, the civilians, in a variety of countries?
Mm.
And if you'd be so specific, I'd appreciate it.
Mhm.
Like, what about the Philippines?
Right. The Philippines, for instance, when we went there, that was like a very, very poor country.
Oh, okay.
So our dollar there was very good.
Right.
And the people there lived off a little of nothing. And their culture was very different. Very different. And most of the guys off the ship enjoyed the Philippines considerably.
Uh-huh.
Because all they had was like nightclubs and a lot of going out and partying and stuff like that. I guess when guys come off the ship, those long cruises, that's all they want to do is that, which I think is kind of bad for them because, you know, you get into trouble with alcohol.
Right.
And that was a big deterrent in the Navy,
Yeah.
alcohol abuse.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
So that particular area with the people there, they was very friendly, very nice to us. They give you anything they had. It was like a whole different culture, and a lot of guys liked it so much they married a lot of the Filipino ladies and brought them back to the States because that's how they could get their citizenship.
Right.
So that went on a lot there.
Okay.
Now, the other place, not Olongapo, but what's the name of it? It's a very clean city.
What country?
Singapore.
Okay.
Very clean.
Okay.
You couldn't put a piece of paper on the ground.
Really?
Right. Which was good. I enjoyed that. And that culture there was very private, and they didn't really care for us very much.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed to themselves.
Right.
So that the people in France, when the carrier pull in, everybody leave the beach, look like.
Really?
They leave the beach. When we first came there, they would lay on the beach in their clothes and they just have a towel on them.
Right.
Once they see the carrier come, they all disappear.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So that's France. And Mombasa,
Yeah.
Africa,
Mhm.
that was a great experience.
How so?
It was great with the people that you could see people that you look just alike.
Right.
I mean, you could find people there that resembled some of your people from home.
Exactly.
And their culture was so open and they were so friendly and nice to you. They welcome you with arms. And I had a great time in Mombasa.
Okay. How was the food?
The food was great. It was great there. It was more like this food here.
Okay. Like really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They could cook very well.
Like what was some of the dishes?
They would take a pig and roast him at the hotels.
Right.
A whole pig.
Right.
And roast him. It may take them, a day or two to do that. But,
Wow.
they would have that already prepared.
Okay.
And they just had a good culture. I would love to go back there today.
How long did you get to spend there?
2 weeks.
Okay. Where else?
Palma, Spain. This was a resort outside of Spain, not too far from, I want to say Rota, not too far from Rota, Spain. It's like they have their own getaway. It's their own getaway little island. It's a little island, Palma, Spain.
Gotcha.
It's an island off the coast of Spain, and it's a resort island. All there is hotels and beaches, and that's where we did our, I think we spent a week there. Our carrier did. That was a great time.
Okay.
Yes, I had a very good time there. The people there was very friendly. Very good food there.
Okay.
Yep, just Italy. It's bad.
So, I'm just Italy.
Yeah.
Okay. Where else?
We went somewhere in France, Marseille, France.
Mm-hmm.
That was the place I was thinking about. The people would cover up themselves
Right.
when we come into port there.
Right.
I didn't really care for France.
No. Okay.
I did get a chance to take the train over to Germany
Yeah.
one time when we was in France,
Okay.
and went to the army base there and met some army guys. That's back in 78, 79 when I was on to America.
Okay.
And that was an experience. I never had rode a train before.
Oh, really?
No. And, oh yeah, and we went to this city, Venice. It was a water city,
Right.
as I remember.
In Italy.
In Italy,
Yeah.
yep. We went to Venice. I forgot about the water city.
Okay.
And you have to get around like you're on the water on a boat.
Right.
Yep, all over.
Right.
I didn't like that. No.
Careful there.
No, that was a good experience. Though.
Gondolas. Right.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And we also went to somewhere in India where they make all these statues. I remember it's something about their surroundings where in the mountains, all they have is it's something that they make statues out of.
Clay?
Yeah, but it's something else different.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all they do.
Some facsimile thereof.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that food there wasn't very good either.
No.
The cows walked the streets there.
Yeah.
They was like, gods.
Exactly.
Yep, that was an experience.
That was
I'll never
special,
forget
wasn't
that. Yep. And that was in India.
Okay. Any other memorable?
Oh, that's a lot of them. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay, just a couple more questions. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
No, it did. It never did. The time that I served from 77 to 97, the only thing that we ever did between that time period was when Reagan was in office and they had these hostages off the coast, and we stood there on the ship waiting for something to go down. Other than that, my whole 20-year career was nothing. I mean, as far as wartime.
Gotcha.
Didn't have any wartime.
It was
During my period.
just
I missed Desert Storm. I was already out.
really okay. Okay. So it was peaceful,
Peaceful
but eventful,
event.
but
And it was
non-combative.
non-combative.
There you go. Okay. How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Well, it gave me more discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that about it. I came from a pretty disciplined family. So, I kind of fit it right in, like shining your shoes in the morning and little stuff like that. I already knew. So, I didn't really like the military, to be honest with you, okay? But I didn't want to stay here. I didn't like the rural cities of here. And I already seen other parts of the United States before I came in the military. So I knew there was something better than Gadsen County at the time.
Right.
So I wanted to travel and see other things. But I didn't know that the Navy was so kind of backwards when it come to races. I didn't think that was right.
Okay.
But other than that, I enjoyed the service. It taught me a lot.
Okay. Okay. Well, is there anything else that you feel like you'd like to share with us?
No, except I just had a a decent career, I would say. I did make E7, but I never put it on. I got what they call passed but not advanced. Because in my last year, that's when I was I was going through a divorce.
Uh-huh.
And I had a 1-year-old child at the same time. So that kind of put me on a damper for making E7. I did pass the test though, but we call it high year tenure. When you don't make rank at a certain period of your career, you're automatically forced out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's about it though. I enjoyed my career.
Good. Well, I
Thank
want to thank you for a great interview.
Thank you, sir.
And I also want to thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My knees are bad. Gotta cut it off.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, no, I can't wait.
Okay. Okay, well, is there anything else that you feel like you'd like to share with us?
No, except I just had a decent career, I would say. I did make E7, but I never put it on. I got what they call passed but not advanced. Because in my last year, that's when I was going through a divorce.
Uh-huh.
And I had a 1-year-old child at the same time. So that kind of put me on a damper for making E7. I did pass the test though, but we call it high year tenure. When you don't make rank at a certain period of your career, you're automatically forced out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's about it though. I enjoyed my career.
Good. Well, I
Thank
want to thank you for a great interview.
Thank you, sir.
And I also want to thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.